What if relationship problems in 2026 were already answered in the 1800s? Modern love feels new, but human nature is old. Jane Austen understood hearts before screens existed. Vanity and pride are different things, though the words are often used synonymously. Ego still ruins what honesty could save. There is no charm equal to tenderness of heart. Not beauty. Not status. Tenderness. I cannot determine what to do about my own heart. Confusion has always lived inside love. It is very often nothing but our own vanity that deceives us. We fall in love with how we feel, not who they are. How little of permanent happiness could belong to a couple who were only brought together because their passions were stronger than their virtue. Desire fades. Character remains. If a woman conceals her affection from the object of it, she may lose the opportunity of fixing him. Silence can cost love. There are people who the more you do for them, the less they will do for themselves. Overgiving teaches entitlement. One does not love a place the less for having suffered in it. Pain does not erase attachment. Angry people are not always wise. Most damage is done mid-emotion. It isn't what we say or think that defines us, but what we do. Actions still speak loudest. Seldom, very seldom, does complete truth belong to any human disclosure. We protect our image before our honesty. A large income is the best recipe for happiness I ever heard of. Security attracts, but it does not guarantee love. Where there is a disposition to dislike, one can never want for a motive. When someone wants to leave, they will find a reason. One half of the world cannot understand the pleasures of the other. Misunderstanding is timeless. Selfishness must always be forgiven, you know, because there is no hope of a cure. Some people never change. There is a stubbornness about self-love. Pride resists correction. An inability of uttering a syllable tends to prove one's affection. Some feelings silence us. To sit in the shade on a fine day and look upon verdure is the most perfect refreshment. Peace is underrated in love. Friendship is certainly the finest balm for the pangs of disappointed love. Not all love is romantic. Happiness in marriage is entirely a matter of chance. Fantasy promises certainty. Reality demands wisdom. Know your own happiness. If you don't, someone else will define it for you. It is not time or opportunity that is to determine intimacy, it is disposition alone. Access does not create connection. There is nothing like staying at home for real comfort. Familiarity builds safety. We are all fools in love. Emotion blinds logic. One man's ways may be as good as another's, but we all like our own best. Ego resists compromise. A mind lively and at ease can do with seeing nothing, and can see nothing that does not answer. Belief shapes perception. It is always incomprehensible to a man that a woman should ever refuse an offer of marriage. Rejection still wounds pride. A lady's imagination is very rapid. It jumps from admiration to love, from love to matrimony in a moment. Fantasy accelerates attachment. There are as many forms of love as there are moments in time. Love is not one shape. What are men to rocks and mountains? Perspective humbles obsession. The more I know of the world, the more I am convinced that I shall never see a man whom I can really love. Disillusionment follows experience. Life seems but a quick succession of busy nothings. We waste time chasing noise. Think only of the past as its remembrance gives you pleasure. Not all memories deserve residence. There are certainly not so many men of large fortune in the world as there are pretty women to deserve them. Expectation often exceeds reality. For what do we live but to make sport for our neighbors and laugh at them in our turn? Judgment entertains the insecure. A person who can write a long letter with ease cannot write ill. Effort reveals intention. If one could but go back to the beginning. Regret arrives late. An engaged woman is always more agreeable than a disengaged. Commitment changes energy. There is nothing like employment for curing the fits of low spirits. Purpose heals distraction. Till this moment, I never knew myself. Self-awareness changes everything. You must allow me to tell you how ardently I admire and love you. True feeling eventually demands expression. There is a safety in reserve. Guarded hearts survive longer. One does not love a place the less for having suffered in it. Attachment outlives pain. Where there is love, there is comfort. Not excitement. Comfort. It is always worth one's while to be generous. Kindness returns quietly. A quiet life and a contented mind. Peace is the rarest romance. To wish was to hope, and to hope was to expect. Expectation fuels disappointment. If a book is well written, I always find it too short. Love feels the same. There are certain feelings which cannot be expressed in words. Silence carries weight. One cannot fix one's eyes on the commonest natural production without finding food for a rambling fancy. Imagination shapes desire. Nothing can be compared to the comfort of a friend. Connection heals slowly. There are moments when one feels invisible. Neglect leaves quiet scars. Those who do not complain are never pitied. Silence hides suffering. Surprise is foolish in everything except love. Love disarms logic. It is always incomprehensible to others why we feel what we feel. Emotion needs no permission. One does not love a place the less for having suffered in it. But suffering should not be home. There is a disposition to dislike wherever pride is wounded. Ego seeks revenge. People themselves alter so much that there is something new to be observed in them forever. Change is inevitable. Every moment had its pleasure of hope. Hope keeps hearts alive. Let other pens dwell on guilt and misery. Choose light wisely. Till this moment I never knew myself. Awareness arrives last. Where there is a disposition to dislike, one can never want for a motive. Exit always finds a reason. One does not love a place the less for having suffered in it. But wisdom knows when to leave. And this is the end of all perfection. Nothing human is flawless. Such a compulsion to think and feel differently. Growth is uncomfortable. Time will explain. It always does. Perhaps it is our imperfections that make us so perfect for one another. Flaws connect honestly. Feelings are not to be suppressed. They surface eventually. One cannot determine what to do about one's own heart. Control is an illusion. Compliments always take you by surprise. Validation softens defenses. There are certain feelings which cannot be expressed in words. Silence carries truth. It is always incomprehensible to others why we feel what we feel. Emotion explains itself to no one. To be fond of dancing was a certain step towards falling in love. Proximity awakens feeling. A woman, especially if she have the misfortune of knowing anything, should conceal it as well as she can. Intelligence has always intimidated. One cannot have too large a party. But intimacy prefers few. Where there is a will, there is a way. Effort reveals priority. Let us never underestimate the power of a quiet moment. Stillness reveals clarity. Life seems but a quick succession of busy nothings. Choose what matters.